Hello, today we are making pizza dough. And I I'm gonna be honest, I don't do pizza dough all that often, so I'm a little rusty. I already have my 2 cups of flour. I'm not using all-purpose flour. I already have a bread and pizza crust dough. That is what I'm using. Because I make bread a lot, and that's the flour that I use for it, and it just so happens to work out for this as well. I have my 3/4 cup of warm water, which we're going to add our active dry yeast, which, because I do a lot of bread, I buy it in bulk, and I put it in my mason jars. I do not have a 1/4 ounce or a package of active dry yeast, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. If it's too yeasty, we'll find out. We're gonna have salt. Could use a salt shaker, but I have that. That's closer than me running to go get the salt shaker. And you're gonna need sugar because sugar feeds yeast. Yeast poops out carbonation and whatnot. That's what makes the reaction. So I'm just gonna add, we actually don't need that much sugar. And I don't have all my measuring spoons right here, so I have to do like 3 of these. And yeah, I'm just digging into my thing. That's perfectly fine when it's yours. And I always put stuff away when I am done with it. Otherwise I won't put it away, and as you can see, still my counters are still very much cluttered. One-fourth of an ounce of sugar. Not sugar, but active dry yeast, which I'm going to put in 1.5 teaspoons. Hopefully that'll be what it is. If not, it won't rise as much, and if it's too much, it'll rise a little more. It all depends on what you want. Then I'm just going to put the salt, which is just 1 teaspoon of salt, in the flour, which I already have in here. That'll work. By all means, measure your stuff out. You do not have to be like me, who's eyeballing certain things like my salt. Before I forget, put my dough hook on. And I am actually going to season this with some garlic, flavor to your heart's content. I never measure out my seasonings just because I flavor to my heart's content. Now, if I'm selling stuff, or if I'm selling it and it's a straight up recipe for like my bread that I do sell, I do measure everything out. Everything is the same. Little bit of pepper. to season your dough. I just like doing it because sometimes it adds extra to it. But I am running out of chives. That's okay. I plan on getting more. So either I get more or I buy green onions and I make some. See whatever comes first. And we're just going to mix this together. And basically we just wait for the yeast to get all foamy and activated. And some people don't bloom your yeast. I do, just to make sure it's good. I just wanted to get it out from one clump. Give it more of a chance to bloom. Actually, I am going to add a little more sugar. By adding some honey. Let me find... No, I had an opened honey somewhere. But apparently I can't find it, so I'm going to open this one. So I'm pretty sure I used it. I think I did. And it's already starting to bloom, so that's always a good thing. Jeez. These things are the worst things to get off of anything. Just letting you know. I struggle. And the honey's just going to add a little bit of sweetness. And this is just an ad-lib thing. Also, it's going to give it more of a crispy crust. Because it'll caramelize in it. And it's already foamy, and I'm just going to call it good. It means my yeast is still very much good, even though it's almost a year old. This is my home use yeast. And you know what? I'm going to put this in here. That, and actually we're going to move you a little closer. Pardon me, we're going to be adjusting. Not that you really can see into the bowl. Okay, so everybody, our dough is done. I took the spare tablespoon of oil, greased up this bowl. Granted, this isn't the... It's good enough for me. I did end up putting about 2 tablespoons of butter in it, just because it needed a little more of a fat, and I didn't want to put oil in it. So now we just let this rise for about an hour. And I'll bring you back when we're there, because then we can grease up our pan. And we'll flour our counter after we clean it off, give us more space. So we can roll it out and put it on our pan. So you can do a regular... I use cookie sheets because I don't care if my pizza's square or round. As long as it's good. That's my philosophy. So I'll bring you back when we get to that point.